the High Command to take a decision sooner rather than later. They are likely to be told to press the pause button and wait for another 3 months. A cabinet reshuffle is likely within the next fortnight, and that could then, post the budget in February, the issue of chief ministership could be re-looked at. Effectively, Akshita, the Congress, from what one gathers, is trying to buy time. When you can't take a decision, not taking a decision becomes your decision. And that's exactly what's happening with the Congress party, not just in Karnataka, but in various states. Mr. Siddaramaiah knows that. He has a certain leverage over the High Command. As I said, majority of the MLAs are with him. He's an OBC. And therefore, I do believe that even though these MLAs of DK Shivkumar have flown from Delhi, I do not expect anything dramatic to happen within the next fortnight. At best, a cabinet reshuffle where some of the Shivkumar loyalists could be accommodated.
But you could also argue, Rajdeep, you say Siddaramaiah has leverage, so does DK Shivkumar. So is he going to be a patient man and just watch from the sidelines? He's been patient for 2.5 years, he'd argue.
Well, yes, but I'm not sure what leverage he has as when he doesn't have a majority of the MLAs. What DK Shivkumar does possess is the fact that he has a certain organizational skill. He's been the Congress president who brought the party victory in Karnataka, and he is hopeful that if he can push the High Command hard enough, he can bargain hard enough, at least for now his loyalists will be accommodated. Whether he can actually effect a change at the top and become chief minister is uncertain. What sources also tell us that even if Mr. Siddaramaiah agrees at some stage to give up the chief ministership, he would prefer to have one of his loyalists accommodated. Shiv Kumar at the moment has limited options. What he is hoping for is that Sonia Gandhi, who he claims committed to him that after 2.5 years you will be made chief minister, Sonia Gandhi will abide by her word. But there are loyalists of Rahul Gandhi who remain also firmly of the view that only Siddaramaiah can deliver Karnataka for them. So I think, as I said, because of these conflicting pulls and pressures, the Congress will resort to a tried and tested tactic, buy some time, and hope that by then they can come up with some kind of a workable solution.
It's not a good look, though, Rajdeep, for the Congress High Command, that they've not been able to resolve this issue, that this kind of infighting, this factionalism within the Karnataka Congress. And many would say, in the back of what's happened in Bihar, maybe the High Command should step in sooner and put out any fires.
Yes, you're absolutely right. But one of the interesting aspects of that is one of the elements of that so-called High Command is Mallikarjun Kharge.
Yeah.
Now, there are those who believe that Mallikarjun Kharge's real hope is he will become Karnataka chief minister one day. That's been his long-standing dream. Now, remember, he comes from a Dalit community, so that can send the right message. So the leaders who go to Mallikarjun Kharge know that the person they are meeting also wants to become chief minister of Karnataka. So it's a very complicated situation. And in a party like the Congress, when things get complicated, they're usually buried under the ground. Therefore, I think you will have a lot of noise and fury, which doesn't do the Congress any credit. But to expect a leadership change at the moment seems highly unlikely.
Okay, thanks very much, Rajdeep. I appreciate your time and for joining us here on Super 6 with your insights of what's really playing out in Karnataka. Before I bring in Naga, Sagaya and Moshmi, I'll just cut across to more breaking news that's coming in. This is on DK Shivkumar's camp. His MLAs who backed him are flying in batches to Delhi. 10 MLAs have already left for the national capital. They're going to be seeking a meeting with the High Command to put forth just one demand: honor the power sharing deal. They maintain that there was a verbal communication that in 2.5 years there'll be a change in chief minister. And so they're saying that now that it's 2.5 years, which is exactly to the date today, by the way, they're saying it's time now to go ahead and honor that promise. And this is clearly a power flex by DK Shivkumar as well, because these MLAs would not be traveling without his nod. This is, in fact, all that's playing out. I'll bring in Nagarjun Dwarkanath first on what's happening right now. Nagarjun, this definitely has the blessings of DK Shivkumar. He's been saying, I will abide by what the High Command will say. I will go ahead and do whatever the Congress wants me to do. But at the same time, he will want his slice of the power pie.
That's absolutely true. Without DK Shivkumar's blessings, these MLAs would not fly to meet the party high command. And who are they meeting? They're meeting Mallikarjun Kharge and KC Venugopal, and both of them have not given time. And yet they are traveling to Delhi, which also shows this is optics. The travel of Bangalore to Delhi is pure optics, posturing that we also have MLAs together and we can camp and put our foot down and seek time with the high command. This is just pure optics, and DK Shivkumar knows that the change of power will not happen within a fortnight, within 10 days, and it's a struggle for 2 to 3 months. And if he doesn't start now, he will not be CM maybe in January and February, and that's the reason the camp has started pushing on the day of the time when Siddaramaiah finishes 2.5 years of tenure, and they've not wasted a day and day or so. They've immediately left to Delhi 10:10 today, and most likely more number of people, more number of MLAs will fly to Delhi over the weekend. Is what about how DK
Okay.
Shivkumar doesn't have the leverage?
Nagarjun, we're
And
having a bit of
after
a problem with your connection. We're going to fix that and come back to you. I'll bring in Sagaraj in the meanwhile. Sagai, we played out a reaction from Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. You know, he has the bulk of support. Most MLAs are on Siddaramaiah's side, and that's his biggest advantage. Having said that, with MLAs now flying to Delhi, is Siddaramaiah nervous? What is his camp's response going to be?
So far, they have not reacted. However, Chief Siddaramaiah maintains that he is going to continue until unless he submits his 17th budget in the month of March. And even if you notice that in Delhi, he has went on to say that he has not spoken about power sharing. He was just talking about cabinet reshuffle. Along with him, it was KJ George who had accompanied him. And even if you notice the system, how it works in Congress party, one person, one job. So that is the reason DK Shivkumar is trying to negotiate with High Command, stating that he is willing to give KPCC President post and would like to take a high-profile position within the government. So that is the Chief Minister's post. We also spoke to the MLAs. They also went on to say that there is a deal between High Command and DK Shivkumar, and that is the reason they are flying to Delhi, and they are going to demand from the High Command that whatever the word you have given, you have to keep up with that and ensure that there is a smooth transition of power from Siddaramaiah to DK Shivkumar. And it was on expected lines, and we expected that DK Shivkumar will play his cards, and now it's all started.
The question is also, with these MLAs all coming in massive numbers, 10 of them plus many more over the weekend heading to Delhi, Maushmi, is there going to be a meeting with the Congress High Command? Will the Congress High Command actually give them time?
Akshita, I recall that when the tussle between T.S. Singh Deo and Bhupesh Baghel was going on, to counter T.S. Singh Deo's claim, almost 60 to 70 MLAs were ferried from Raipur to Delhi. And they sat in buses, and there was a lot of parading that happened. And that decision to, in fact, change the chief minister, if it was going to happen, was stalled completely. So, there could be a counter move by Siddaramaiah as well. One can't actually count that out, the dramatics and the theatrics as far as, power tussle is concerned.
Yeah.
But yes, the party high command cannot, can ill afford another public spectacle. You have a swearing-in ceremony of grandeur in Bihar, and the NDA is a formidable lot. So the optics really don't go out well for the Congress. If there is a power tussle and DK Shivkumar would be sending in MLA. So I think it's more of a bargaining tactic by DK Shivkumar for a more elbow room in the cabinet reshuffle rather than, really claiming that CM's post.
Do you think that's what it is, Nagarjun, that, in a countdown to the cabinet reshuffle, this is DK Shivkumar saying that, look, if you're not going to make me the chief minister, ensure that I at least have more power?
Well, absolutely wrong. Cabinet reshuffle is a smoke screen for both of them. Both of them don't want to have cabinet reshuffle. Cabinet reshuffle is a catalyst or weapon to use for Siddaramaiah to ensure that if the reshuffle happens, he remains to be the chief minister. And DK Shivkumar has to ensure that the reshuffle doesn't happen so that the change of guard happens. Remember, once the change of guard happens, the whole cabinet dissolves, and you also have to have new 32 MLAs taking oath with the new CM. If chief minister is planning to have 10 members to be dropped in the present cabinet, in next 3 to 4 months, you can't have a new CM because in turn, you have new 32 ministers. That will not look good in terms of administration. This whole cabinet reshuffle is a smoke screen from the CM camp to ensure his chair remains safe as well. I was just talking about how Rajdeep spoke about T.S. Singh Deo and in Sachin Pilot case, but we are talking about DK Shivkumar, right? In Karnataka, he's been a minister since '89. He's been a strong, loyal Congress party member. He had close association with Ahmed Patel with Sonia Gandhi, with Rahul Gandhi. In each level of his growth, the party has seen how DK Shivakumar has ensured that they stood by the party. And that is what he's speaking to the High Command, that I have stood by you, now it's your turn to stand by me. And what we are picking up from the sources is that now we have got official confirmation through the party sources and especially DK camp that this was a verbal communication that was given just before the 2023 oath-taking ceremony. Three people from the High Command, DK Shivakumar, Siddaramaiah, were a part of this conversation in a room in Delhi, and they shook hands over that after 2.5 years, Siddaramaiah will vacate the chair for DK Shivakumar. So DK Shivakumar is now telling the High Command, you people were also witness to this scenario in Delhi. I'm asking what was promised for, and hence the MLAs are flying. DK Shivakumar also, remember, is playing his cards right. He's not speaking in public.
Yeah.
He's not speaking anything in public. He's saying CM Siddaramaiah is my chief minister. But in back end, of course, the work is going on. Without his blessings, the MLS would not have left.
Yeah.
This is clear optics by his camp and trying to flex their muscle.
Yeah, and anyone can read between the lines of what's really happening. There may not be public outbursts, but it's very clear that each of these camps are flexing muscle, trying to show off to the High Command that, look, you need to ensure that we're taken care of, we're accommodated. And amid all of this public fighting that you're seeing, this infighting, this factionalism, the BJP is lashing out at the Congress. They've been releasing AI videos, in fact, to highlight the power tussle that's playing out in the Karnataka Congress. The BJP now claiming that Karnataka is suffering as a result of this political deadlock.
Means Siddaramaiah will not leave the CM post. DK will not keep quiet. He wants CM because of the agreement. 2.5 years, 2.5 years. Entire Karnataka is suffering from the development.
Okay, let's also get you more breaking news that's coming in right now. While the politics continues, the BJP is, of course, trying to make the most of what's happening. We've now spoken to some of these MLAs who are backing DK Shivakumar. Now, they maintain that DK Shivakumar will definitely become the Karnataka Chief Minister. A handful of them, including Basuraj Shivaganga, who we've spoken to here on India Today, are currently in the national capital. Listen.
मैं जनवरी तक नई बात करके बोल दिया ऑलरेडी मीडिया में.
ठीक है,
इसलिए मैं दिसंबर तक वेट कर रहे. दिसंबर होने के बाद जनवरी में मैं बात करता हूँ.
बट आप अभी भी उसी स्टेटमेंट पे स्टैंड बाय करते हैं सर कि
स्टैंड है सर
कि डीके शिवकुमार कभी ना कभी सीएम बनने वाले ही है, आपको लगता है?
बनने वाले, ये बनेगा सर.
Okay, so they're expressing confidence for obvious reasons that DK Shivakumar will become the Chief Minister. So today marks 2.5 years for Siddaramaiah as Chief Minister. And so the months-long rumbling over a CM change in Karnataka has taken full focus. Remember that in 2023, when there was all the suspense over who will be the Chief Minister, the High Command reportedly, to quell all discord, said 2.5 years for Siddaramaiah as Chief Minister and 2.5 years for DK Shivakumar as Chief Minister. And guess what? 2.5 years later, they still can't pick one. There have been endless trips to Delhi. Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar have their own camps or attempting all kinds of power flexes. But let's face it, there's been pin-drop silence from the High Command. Ideally, the leadership would have nipped this in the bud, should have by now given clarity over what's happening, but instead the ambiguity continues. And what that also means is that governance takes a back seat because the Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister are busy fighting it out over who's the boss of Karnataka. And you'd think after what happened in Bihar, the drubbing for Congress, they would have learnt their lesson. Definitely doesn't seem like it. They're allowing factionalism to continue. They're allowing infighting, and this from the Congress chief who hails from Karnataka. So either the High Command is yet to take a pick and can't make up their mind on whether they want DK Shivakumar or Siddaramaiah to rule Karnataka, or are just plain oblivious to what's happening in the state and the endless power merry-go-round, if you will, that the citizens are witnessing. And like I said, governance, administration, that's what it's all about. But none of that matters. What's administration? What's governance? Ultimately, it's all about power.
An absolute drought for Congress in Bihar, and yet there have been no attempts to learn lessons. As the Karnataka Game of Thrones continues, the Congress High Command has been watching in silence, refusing to act, refusing to put out fires. As the 2.5-year CM formula has come to an end, there's zero clarity on whether the Chief Minister will change or it will be Siddaramaiah. There's been rumblings for weeks now. Siddaramaiah maintains he's the boss and will present the budget in months from now.
Siddaramaiah presented a most pragmatic budget of the country. 17 budget 1-0, 16 budget 1-0. Next 17 budget 1-0.
DK Shivakumar meanwhile reiterates the High Command is boss, even as his supporters continue to push for his elevation.
Discipline now maintain party so I'm a membership function
His brother DK Suresh is already dropping hints.
ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಜನರ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದದಿಂದ ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಇವತ್ತಿಗೆ 2.5 ವರ್ಷ ತುಂಬಿದೆ. ನಾವು ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಮಾತಂತೆ ಮಾನ್ಯ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿಯನ್ನು ಅನುಷ್ಠಾನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರೇನು ಮಾತು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಆ ಮಾತಿನಂತೆ ನಡ್ಕೋತಾರೆ.
The BJP is going to town with this chaos with one AI video after another, this time showing an angry Siddaramaiah. With Siddaramaiah completing 2.5 years as Chief Minister, will there be a change? For now, there are endless questions because the High Command has refused to intervene and end the suspense. With Nagarjun and Sagai Raj in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let me bring in now political analyst Sandeep Shastri for his view on what's really playing out in Karnataka. Mr. Shastri, we've had you on endless such discussions on whether there's going to be a change in Chief Minister. But today is the day when supposedly it was to happen. 2.5 years of Siddaramaiah as Chief Minister. Do you think there's going to be any change at all, Mr. Shastri?
Before the Bihar results, I used to say change in Karnataka about when and not if. But after the Bihar results, the House seems to be now busy with other things and are not taking care of the states where they are in power. I think this procrastination of the High Command is creating serious challenges in Karnataka. If there was an assurance made out to DK Shivakumar that he will be made Chief Minister after 2.5 years, it's important that it's fulfilled and not a Chhattisgarh-like story repeated. And I think it's important that the High Command intervenes to settle the infighting within the party, because in spite of whatever they have done with the 5 guarantees, you are washing away all the benefits by this procrastination here. Now, whether it is Siddaramaiah continuing or whether it's a change of regime, I think somewhere uncertainty needs to, because until uncertainty does not end,
Mr. Shastri, I would have loved to, hear in detail what you have to say, but unfortunately, we're having a very, very difficult time connecting with you and really understanding what you're saying because of that weak signal. I apologize. I wish we could have Mr. Shastri with us to understand what's really expected to play out in Karnataka. But viewers, as it stands right now, 2.5 years done of Siddaramaiah as Chief Minister. DK Shivakumar is piling on the pressure, and how? Unsurprisingly, there's complete silence right now from the High Command. So we'll have to see how long they continue this ostrich approach or whether they will finally take a pick between DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah for Chief Minister. We're going to continue tracking very closely what really plays out in Karnataka. I'm slipping into a very short break. On the other side, we'll focus on what's happening in Andhra Pradesh. Jagan Mohan Reddy appeared in a CBI court today for the disproportionate assets case against him. The YSRCP and TDP will be joining me in just a minute.
सैल्यूट है जी, आप देश की रक्षा में जान